Liverpool news, Jurgen Klopp comments on returning and Mo Salah replacements kinds identified. Today's Liverpool news looks at Jurgen Klopp's latest remarks and who will replace Mohamed Salah. Liverpool fans enjoyed life under Jurgen Klopp once again at the weekend when the iconic German made his way back to Anfield for a charity game against Borussia Dortmund. Klopp's successor Arne Slot pulled off the unthinkable by winning the Premier League in his inaugural season at the Reds. However, it hasn't been smooth sailing since, with the Reds struggling in the league. Klopp's fleeting comeback bewitched many, and the Champions League winning coach has since sent a message to those supporters. With the international break in full swing, the Reds are also still reeling from the news that Mohamed Salah is to leave the club at the end of the season. Today's news looks at what Klopp had to say to the Kop after his stunning homecoming, while 3 replacements for Salah have reportedly been earmarked by the club. Klopp has expressed his gratitude to Liverpool for the reception he received on his homecoming to Merseyside. The former Reds manager is forever an iconic figure at Anfield after delivering Premier League, Champions League, FA Cup, League Cup and Club World Cup glory during nearly 9 years at the club. Klopp received a hero's welcome as he presided over an entertaining 2-2 draw at Anfield, which was in aid of the LFC Foundation. Goals from Jay Spearing and Thiago helped the Reds earn the draw. Klopp posted to Instagram on Monday evening, sharing several photographs from his visit and writing, "Thank you to everyone who made my homecoming so special. Enjoyed every second. My role was definitely not to have a lot of words. I was here for the foundation and to be part of a really special experience." For me, a very special experience after a while, being around, being that close, seeing all the Liverpool lads and then seeing the Dortmund lads as well, because that was like 80% of my players. And you don't meet very often and have them all together in one room. It's really cool. It was really, really, really nice. And the people suck it in. It's just so nice to see all the boys playing. But I think Thiago alone was worth the ticket. Salah replacement. Since Salah confirmed his end-of-season exit, several names have emerged as the player to take his place. Bayern Munich's Michael Olise, Jan Diomande of RB Leipzig and Juventus winger Francisco Conceição have all been linked. The AECO was told last week that Liverpool were keeping tabs on Portugal international Conceição, but checks with multiple sources at Anfield have downplayed interest in the 23-year-old. I know people talk about a big club, but I play for a big club where I am happy, Conceição said last week when asked directly about Liverpool interest. At the moment, I am only focused on these 2 games with the national team, and then I will focus on the final stretch of the season to help my club as much as possible. Liverpool have a strong relationship with RB Leipzig and have worked on several deals together in recent years. Yet talk of £100 million plus for 19-year-old Diomande will surely have to be reduced for any deal to get off the ground. People made Liverpool out to be my dream club, Diomande said last month. But first and foremost, it's my dad's favourite club. It was always his great wish to see me play there someday because he loves the atmosphere at Anfield. He always raved about Steven Gerrard. Olise is viewed as a no-go at this stage. The 24-year-old star has risen since he left Crystal Palace for Bayern, but a potential deal for the France international could reach club record levels for Liverpool. Bayern have no intention of listening to offers for Olise at this stage either. We're not even considering that, Bayern sporting director Max Ebel told German publication Bild last week. He's an FC Bayern player and has all the opportunities here that top players could wish for. Internally at Liverpool, there is a belief that they are determined to see Florian Wirtz, Hugo Ekitike and Alexander Isak together on a more consistent basis. The 3 summer signings have graced the same pitch for just 88 minutes this season, meaning Salah's replacement could very well already be at the club. With Reds bosses determined to get the best out of the trio next season, Liverpool have made right Alisson Becker call. I think it's too soon for Georgi Mamardashvili. Exclusive former Liverpool goalkeeper Brad Friedel has his say on Alisson Becker and Georgi Mamardashvili, as well as Mohamed Salah's impending Anfield exit. Former Liverpool goalkeeper Brad Friedel has hailed the decision to trigger Alisson Becker's 1-year contract extension at Anfield. And the former USA international believes the call to prolong the stay of Alisson is a smart one, despite the succession of injury troubles that have plagued him in recent years. The Brazil international's agent Zé Maria confirmed last month that the club had chosen to extend the terms of their shot stopper by an additional year, keeping him on Merseyside until 2027 as a result. However, the former Roma star, who joined the Reds for £65 million in the summer of 2018, has missed 20 Premier League games of the last 2 full campaigns and is currently sidelined with a muscle issue picked up just before the international break. But despite the ongoing fitness issues that has seen Alisson also miss 6 league matches this season, Friedel says the long-serving Brazilian is still the best man for the job at Anfield. What a goalkeeper, Friedel told the Echo. He's a fantastic talent and one of the best in the world without any question. I'm very happy this 1-year extension was triggered as Alisson is going to be very hard to replace as such an outstanding person to have behind any defence. Yes, there has been some injuries and he has missed games, but being such a top goalkeeper, you want to have him with you for as long as possible. Yes, the club do need to start scouting, if they haven't already, for a new no.1 comma when Alisson does depart. But for now, he is firmly my no. Mamardashvili joined the club last summer in a £29 million deal from Valencia that was organised the summer. Friedel has been impressed by what he has seen so far from the Georgia international, but believes it is too early to say if he will be the long-term successor to Alisson. How good Mamardashvili can be is a difficult one to answer, as we haven't seen a lot of Georgie, and what we have, it's going to take time for sure said Friedel, who made 25 of his 450 Premier League appearances for Liverpool between 1997 and 2000. How good can he be? Well, the main thing is how you deal with mistakes you make. Can you bounce back quickly and learn from them? How can you deal with playing many Premier League games on the bounce? Can you deal with playing Champions League football? These are so important for a goalkeeper now to show you can play well consistently. Friedel, who was speaking to Echo via Gambling.com, who rank and compare top-rated UK gambling websites, also provided his take on Mohamed Salah's decision to leave the Reds after 9 decorated years at the end of the season. It seems the right time for both parties, I think, he said. To offer the 2-year deal was very important as the club didn't want to lose Trent Alexander-Arnold and Mo in the same summer, so with Mo staying this helped. Mo can now have the perfect send-off to what has been an unbelievable career at Liverpool, one of the all-time greats at the club with all his goals, assists and medals. With Arne Slot making the signings he has done last summer, he can look to further implement his style as Alexander Isak, Hugo Ekitike and Florian Wirtz can have good pre-season together to be able to start next season stronger. Salah is up there with the likes of Sir Kenny Dalglish and Ian Rush for sure. As a supporter of Liverpool as well, I am upset he will be leaving, but we can enjoy him for a little while longer this season. All good things come to an end at some stage and he will be missed. Florian Wirtz's decision now clear as 4 players give Liverpool new concern in season ratings. How Liverpool's players have been rated by the Echo so far this season, with Dominic Szoboszlai, Conor Bradley and Mohamed Salah causing a stir. Don't worry folks, it's almost over, and while Liverpool have left something to be desired with their performances in the Premier League, there is still hope Arne Slot's side can end with silverware, having reached the last 8 of both the FA Cup and Champions League, but they will need to improve their level with so many individuals having struggled to get anywhere near their best for a variety of reasons, while the initial difficulties of most of the new signings adjusting to new roles and methods has also been apparent. The Echo has rated Liverpool's squad throughout the 47 games they have played in all competitions this season, marking them out of 10 for every appearance in which they played for at least 15 minutes. The men who have impressed, Dominic Szoboszlai, average score 7.07, has remained Liverpool's most consistently impressive performer this season, despite operating in a number of different positions, occasionally all in the same match. While Alisson Becker, 6.68, had a shocker against Manchester City in February, he has otherwise been steady rather than spectacular, and did post good performances against Arsenal, Marseille and Tottenham Hotspur since the turn of the year. Florian Wirtz, 6.68, continues to justify his summer purchase and was excellent from December through to picking up an injury in late February, after which he has been more missed than hit. Conor Bradley, 6.43, had found a good rhythm before injury ended his season in January, while Hugo Ekitike, 6.41, has shown signs of understandable weariness since January, having assumed much of the attacking responsibility since his arrival last July. Best of the rest, Virgil van Dijk, 6.38, is another for whom fatigue has become a slight issue over the last 6 weeks, having previously helped Liverpool steady the ship during the winter months. Ryan Gravenberch, 6.33, began the campaign strongly in midfield but has found life more difficult of late, encapsulated by poor showings at Nottingham Forest and Wolves. Joe Gomez, 6.33, has once again been reliable when available, while Jeremy Frimpong, 6.30, shone in December and January, but has taken a little longer to regain that form after his latest injury setback. On the other defensive flank, Andy Robertson, 6.30, hasn't featured as much as he would have liked, but has made some key contributions since Christmas. Curtis Jones, 6.22, was solid enough when called upon before the festive period, but has since been alarmingly erratic, with his minutes having become more limited as a consequence. Ibrahima Konate, 6.15, came through a dire start to the season and, following the death of his father, responded with a series of excellent performances that was halted by a shocker in the Champions League at Galatasaray, and that 19 of 41 scoring appearances for Cody Gakpo, 6.15, have been the average mark of 6 underlines how the campaign has gone for the Dutchman. Must do better. The decision of Mohamed Salah, 6.06, to leave at the end of the season is perhaps no surprise given age, and a stellar career have finally caught up with the Egyptian, with his number of displays rated below 5 greater than those ranked higher than 7 this term. The average score of Milos Kerkez, 6.06, continues to be hampered by his difficult first half of the campaign. If only his games this calendar year counted, the left-back would be second only to fellow Hungarian Szoboszlai. Alexis McAllister, 6.00, had improved markedly until recent disappointing showings at Galatasaray and at home to Tottenham Hotspur, while Federico Chiesa, 5.84, has only once registered a rating higher than 5 since November. Of those who haven't quite played enough games to be included in the rankings, Rio Ngumoa, 6.81, scores highly on the basis of top marks for his winner at Newcastle, and Georgi Mamadashvili, 6.31, has been solid between the sticks. But Alexander Isak, 5.60, has really struggled for fitness and form, while Wataru Endo, 6.13, has never really had a chance to get going due to poorly timed injuries. Liverpool told they can't repeat transfer window as 11 high-profile summer exits suggested Liverpool are being tipped for another busy summer in the transfer market. But should that really be the case, Liverpool will hope they have another 2 full months of the season to go. But for some, already the concentration has shifted away from the action on the field and the possibility of rumour, speculation, conjecture, and maybe even some actual business during the next transfer window. The World Cup will dominate attention at the start of the summer, but with the window opening on June 15th before closing at the end of August, there is plenty of scope for ins and outs. Liverpool were compelled to undergo major squad changes in the close season last year, with some predicting the same again this time round, regardless of who is in charge. But is that really feasible for sporting director Richard Hughes and the Reds recruitment team? And should it be happening? Our EO writers take a look. Ian Doyle: the natural reaction from some after an underwhelming season is to look to sell as many players as possible. But it's already almost certain there will be several high-profile departures from Anfield this summer. Mohamed Salah has confirmed he is off, and unless Andy Robertson and Ibrahima Konate agree new deals in the next 3 months, they'll be on their way also. Noel will also be expected to depart, although not to Aston Villa, with his proposed move to the Midlanders now unlikely to be realised. While Kostas Tsimikas on loan at Roma is also likely to go, there will also be question marks over Federico Chiesa given his negligible impact this season, while established players such as Curtis Jones, Wataru Endo and Joe Gomez may also be targeted after failing to nail down regular starting roles, and that's before discussion turns to Alexis Mac Allister given the lack of talks over a new deal, while Cody Gakpo has been linked with moves elsewhere after a difficult campaign. But hang on a minute, if they all leave, that's 11 players, all of whom are Premier League title winners. Even if Elliott and Tsimikas aren't counted due to not being involved with Liverpool this season, that's still 9. And with the Reds needing around 3 additional senior players to bolster the current numbers, that would leave them needing to make 12 signings. That simply isn't going to happen. But even if just Salah, Robertson and Konate depart, that still leaves Liverpool significantly short, given realistically they already need a few more additions on top of Jeremy Jacquet, the 20-year-old centre-back who is arriving from Rennes in a £60 million deal. Liverpool won't want another summer overhaul like last season. However, while they won't spend anywhere near as much on players, the reality is they may not have much choice but to bring in a plethora of new faces to provide much-needed strength in depth. Mark Jones. So in case you hadn't noticed, Mohamed Salah is off at the end of the season, and Ibrahima Konate and Andy Robertson are both out of contract as well, with no news on any new deals as of yet. While we're at it, it would be difficult to imagine Wataru Endo, Federico Chiesa and Harvey Elliott still being at the club next season, while the odds are against a Kostas Tsimikas return and Curtis Jones has been attracting interest from elsewhere. And, well, you get the picture. Liverpool might have had something of an overhaul last summer, but this isn't Football Manager. You can only do what it is feasible to do, all of which means surely the club will think long and hard about letting likes of Cody Gakpo, Alexis Mac Allister and indeed Jones go. The deal would have to be a very tempting one for them to consider it, and perhaps even a replacement already lined up. Jeremy Jacquet's an exciting new arrival, of course, but he still looks quite raw. More established names will need to be added in almost all positions, and signing players is often pretty hard to do. So I wouldn't be expecting a mass exodus outside of the likeliest departures. Liverpool's squad has looked thin all season as it is, and it can't get any thinner.